Guys, how's it going? Eli here, back with another video where today we're going to be having a conversation about what the heck the Pokemon company is doing with some of the new product they're releasing, as well as finally getting a little bit of a time estimate update on what the expected Hidden Fates 2.0 set is going to be coming out in English. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So as always, getting out of the way, if you want to enter into our weekly giveaways, all you have to do is be subscribed, leave a like, comment down below on any of the pre-recorded videos we post each and every week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. As always, we give out packs to 3 winners of the newest set. The current set that we are going to be giving out, of course, is Pokemon Go. We're going to be giving out 10 packs to each of the winners. And then since you can comment and like on each video, that allows you for multiple opportunities to enter. So multiple opportunities to enter, multiple opportunities to win. But getting that part out of the way, time to have a discussion about, what's going on with the Pokemon company and the product they're pushing out. But first, I really want to give a little bit of at least hopeful news before I start to get into the doom and gloom of things. But the Pokemon company, basically, it looks as if the set code name for Sword and Shield 12.5, aka a specialty set, has been officially confirmed. So obviously, we had gotten a little bit of a tease of like a specialty deck that is coming to Japan. For those people that don't know, it was like it's going to be like a Vulpix V deck. And typically speaking, around the same time, you saw a, specialty set come out in Japan, which ended up being VMAX Climax, of course. So the expectation was we were going to be seeing, around the similar time, hopefully, a specialty set released in Japan that is going to kind of be a little bit of foreshadowing for that Hidden Fates 2.0 set. So it's officially being announced that it's going to come early 2023. We don't have an official date yet, but this kind of lines up perfectly, and it even says this in the article. This lines up perfectly with the same release window of what happened with Shining Fates, because that set came out in February and March. You're expecting that this early set release is going to be in Japan, probably sometime in January, and then we'll expect to see it in March, and then going into after that, probably going to start to see some Scarlet and Violet sets to be released. Scarlet and Violet base set and whatever that is going to look like. So really exciting that at least we have a, date for it. It's a bummer that it's going to be something we're going to have to wait for so long, because if you really think about it, we had Pokemon Go, we have Dark Phantasma, and then we're going to have more than likely another set in between that, and then we're going to have the specialty set. So it sounds like, the expectation was more or less that we potentially would have a finish off end of the year specialty set, but it sounds like we're going to have one more in between that. No clue what that's going to look like. There's been a bunch of leaked cards of Deoxys V-Star, so it's potential that there could be kind of like a spin-off of that, some form of Deoxys themed set. Of course, I'll show the pictures on that for you guys that want to take a look. Also, as well as Aurora VMAX and V-Star. So who knows ultimately at the end of the day what that's going to kind of entail and what that's going to kind of look like. But I thought it would just be nice to kind of preface this before we really jump into some of the negative news, considering this is going to be something we're going to be bringing up later into the video. Now, one thing I wanted to also talk about, and this is going to lead into my main point of this whole video, is they just announced they're going to be coming out with a Heavy Hitters Premium Collection in this upcoming September. So while I wait for this to load, I'll just kind of talk about what's actually going to be in this Heavy Hitters box. It's hard to see for you guys right now, but basically, without kind of, zooming in on it, it has 2 Darkness Ablaze packs, it has multiple Fusion Strike packs, it has multiple Brilliant Star packs, Astral Radiance packs, and that's it. So from what the image looks like, of course, 2 Darkness, 1, 2, 3, 4 Fusion, 1, 2, 3, actually, sorry, 4 Fusion, 1, 2, 3, 4 4 Brilliant Star, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 Astral. So, I mean, it's understandable why it's called the Heavy Hitters box. It comes with, I think, 12 packs is what I count, like some crazy amount of packs. Then it comes with 4 coins, a Lucario V, big jumbo card, and then it comes with the Lucario V and the Tyranitar V cards, which, you know, if I'm being completely honest, I don't understand what the Pokemon Company is doing right now, guys. We just got announced that there's going to be an Infinite V box that's going to be also coming in September. It was announced a while ago, like it had leaked, but I just got my allocations for it, and it looks like it's going to be one of those boxes that's going to have, once again, like Astral Radiance and Brilliant Stars and Fusion. The Pokemon Company just keeps putting out garbage. And it's starting to really infuriate me, if I'm being honest, and it's affecting the market. It's very transparent. It's very clear that they're not putting out the best product, and I don't know why. And here's the deal, man. We can have a conversation about the fact of the matter that Astral Radiance and Brilliant Star and Fusion have a lot of meta-related, of course, cards in them. But the price of these meta-related cards are not overinflated. They're not, you know, super expensive compared to some of the other Evolving Skies cards, which, don't get me wrong, they're not as, you know, viable in the competitive format as it stands right now because, you know, we've got the Palkia deck that's kind of running it. You haven't seen as much Genesect, thankfully, nowadays in the current meta. But with that, of course, being said, these packs are still extremely cheap. Brilliant Star, I guess you can make an argument for that booster box prices are the more expensive of the choices here. So it's nice to have them. But, you know, as far as it goes, Fusion Strike is still super cheap. Astral Radiance is still super cheap. And so for me personally, I just don't get it. I just don't get what's this pack selection they're throwing in. Not to mention, too, what's even more infuriating if you are someone who does follow competitive format, the Lucario Tyranitar, I understand why they did that because they called it the Heavy Hitters, but I feel like they could have gone such a different direction with this box and putting in cards that are more often used in the current standard format. You know, these cards are not extremely prevalent. I could be completely off base with this. I know, you know, they have Lucario V-Star, but Tyranitar doesn't have a V-Max. Tyranitar doesn't have a V-Star. The Tyranitar V card is pretty garbage, in all honesty. And to my knowledge, the Lucario V-Star doesn't really get any play. So I just don't really understand it. Yeah, it's just, and it's so funny too, reading like the kind of comments down below. People are also a little bit frustrated about it because they don't understand why they couldn't have had some more, you know, relevant cards to the current standard format be used in specialty premium boxes. And that's kind of, I guess, the whole point that I'm really going to lead into, which is the Pokemon Company is just right now with everything going on with the product, they're like a sinking ship. And they keep adding more holes into that ship rather than clogging them up. Like, and I don't say that in the way of like, oh my god, Pokemon's doom and gloom. Like, I don't want people to get that like idea because I'm a huge believer of Pokemon long term. But Pokemon hasn't had a smash in a while. And now you might see yourself, well, a while is like 6 months, Eli. Like, that seems pretty harsh. But in, you know, the world of Pokemon, 6 months is a long time when you consider the fact that 2 or 3 sets could be released within that period. Brilliant Stars was the last really successful set. Astral Radiance, it's fine, but it's not one that people are like, I'm getting product that has Astral. I'm excited about it. They're like, it's Astral, it's whatever. Pokemon Go is a complete bust of a set. Like I said before, I think it'll do long term well, but as it stands right now, it's, you know, pretty much low demand. And then you've got, of course, Lost Origins, which, you know, so far pretty lackluster set. I'm not going to be surprised if they're going to put in some heavy hitter character rares to save it. If they don't, then that set's also going to be struggling because the fact that you have a Gengar, a Snorlax, and a Pikachu all in the common character rare slot and not the rare slot, they have to be setting up for some like bigger VMAX character rares. Otherwise, I don't know what they're doing. I just don't know what they're doing. And then you've got the recent product they've put out, the Pikachu V-Box, the Cleaver Lucario V-Star box. You've got the Morpeko V-Box. You've got just all these boxes and all these cards that no one cares about. And the value of this product is just tanking. And the worst part about it all is the packs inside are mediocre too. They're not like Evolving Skies. The only product that I know of this year that's been released that's had Evolving Skies product in it was the Juniper Milk Collection box, and then the Divergent tins. Other than that, to my knowledge, I don't really know of any sets that have at least one pack in it of Evolving Skies. And you know, we'd made predictions on the channel during the live streams, and we've heard other YouTubers' theories on kind of like, I expect the Pokemon Company is going to really start throwing Evolving Skies into everything just so they can sell their junk product. Well, the fact that this, you know, collection box was just released for September, which is 2 months from now, month and a half, I guess, because it's September the 1st. And what we know so far of it is it's going to include no Evolving Skies product, and the Infernape box is not going to include Evolving Skies product. It doesn't seem like that's the direction they're really going. And it's honestly kind of shameful and frustrating, because right now you're seeing a lot of demand really get siphoned out of the market because of it. Specifically for Ultra Modern, obviously, you know, we went through it on yesterday's YouTube videos. A lot of WotC product is still crashing. You've seen cards retrace anywhere between 50 to 90% on a lot of things. A lot of them are probably gonna retrace to their former all-time highs or slightly above that. You know, and this is going back first edition Shadowless to Unlimited. I mean, this is not just like one of hyperinflated cards. Like, this is low pop cards, because a lot of this really was overinflated. So to have ultra modern product just not be in a good spot doesn't help the health of the market right now. And as far as it goes, we don't know what the next set is going to be. Of course, after Lost Origins, we know that we're more than likely going to be getting a Hidden Fates 2.0 set, but that isn't coming until 8 months away, 7-8 months away. So that's a very long time. And by the time that set does come out, you know, if I'm being honest, we don't know what the set looks like, but it could be an amazing investment opportunity. I'll tell you what, because with the amount of people that I know of right now that are kind of getting, you know, bored of the hobby, feeling stale about the hobby because nothing good is really being pushed out, I think that could be really good buy time for when, you know, things start to really pick up. And who knows, we could have a really good Sword and Shield era set to, you know, finish off before we have our specialty set. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we just don't really have that right now, because when you think of the Sword and Shield era as a whole, you don't really think about all the amazing sets that are in it. You think of the fact that this introduced alt arts, and it's awesome. I'm stoked they've introduced alt arts. But I feel like there's been a lot of wasted opportunity on potential cards that could have been alternate arts. You know, and I get it. They have to push their game. They have to push Arceus. They have to push, you know, Diamond and Pearl remakes. But even then, man, as someone who's a huge Diamond and Pearl fan, and don't get me wrong, I love the Giratina alt artwork. At the end of the day, you're going to have to add more flavor to that than just that and an Aerodactyl, which I think is gorgeous artwork, you know? They could have definitely given Darkrai an alternate art. I think that was a huge missed opportunity. I think they could have incorporated Cresselia, and maybe they will, as an alternate art. But I feel like if you're really trying to go that route, there was more options, you know? It's cool they got Arceus, of course, to get an alternate art. I was really happy about that. But there's just some issues, I feel like, with what the direction the Pokemon Company is going right now. And don't get me wrong, like, they've had their times. They come in waves. It's up and down, up and down, up and down. I mean, if you really think about how the Sun and Moon era is, it was kind of a glorious time when you talk about them pushing out sets. I mean, gosh, like looking at those sets, Hidden Fates, arguably one of the best sets of all time. Of course, as someone who is a huge Gen 4 fan, and I know people that are, fans of XY older sets, they might be like, whoa, arguably one of the best sets of all time. Like, guys, don't get me wrong, like, I'm a huge fan of Gen 1 through 5 sets and cards and so on and so forth. But from just a transparent perspective, it kind of set a new standard for what is the future of Ultramodern, kind of like Cosmic Eclipse with character rares. And so you had those both in the same era too, like the Sun and Moon era, and then you had Unbroken Bonds, and then you had Unified Minds, and then you had Tag Team, and then you had Lost Thunder, and then you had Celestial Storm, and then it's it was mind-boggling to me. I mean, there is so many sets I can keep going on about in the Sun and Moon era. I don't want people to feel like I'm leaving any out, because I know, we've got Shining Legends. I know we've got Ultra Print. Don't get me wrong, guys. I keep going on these sets. But when you look at the middle of the road sets nowadays compared to the middle of the road sets then, even their lower tier middle of the road sets had characters to be desired or had cards that were of significant value. So when we take a comparison from last year to this year, they've made major improvements in their artwork. I think they've done such a better job with art nowadays compared to what they did with, GX's. GX artwork was, pretty lackluster to say the least, but the direction in which they kind of pushed out the sets and they started to introduce character rares and shiny full arts and obviously, alternate art sets in the tag team era with the Latios Latias heart card and so on and so forth with some of the other examples I could bring up, Gardevoir Sylveon, but I digress. They really haven't seen much else outside of that when you really consider the fact of, if you were to tell me that back then I could get just one set that had, I don't know, one of 8 of those cards. If I got a Celestial Storm, I'd be happy. If I got a Cosmic Eclipse, I'd be happy. If I got Unbroken Bonds, the whole list I just went through. If I got one of those packs, I'd be stoked, right? If I got 2 of those packs, cha-ching. But nowadays, it's if I don't get at least a Brilliant Star and an Evolving in the same one, because Brilliant Star is great, but it doesn't hold the same heavy hit as Evolving Skies because the value of the cards are so much greater in Evolving Skies when you get the pulls. And there's so many more pulls to get with that too. It makes it really difficult to really find value in a lot of this product. You can't just have one of those standalone, or multiple, I should say, of those standalone strong sets anymore, because realistically, it's Evolving Skies, and although Brilliant Stars is right behind it, it's pretty far behind if we're talking booster box sets, because the value that comes in it is so great. So, for me personally, I really hope that we get a really good booster box set to finish off the year, and then finish off with a bang with whatever it is the shiny set's going to be, and have a good year, in my personal opinion, for Scarlet and Violet, because I definitely think that, in my personal opinion, and just from the perspective of this, it's been a pretty lackluster year in regards to Pokemon product. And now maybe, you can make an argument saying that, oh, I'm looking from a nostalgic lens, but I don't think I honestly am, considering the fact that I got in around the same time Cosmic and Unified Minds started to come out. Same with Hidden Fates. That's when I came back into the hobby after taking a hiatus because XY era was kind of garbage. Most people would probably agree with me on that. I was a huge fan leading up to Black and White, and then kind of back end Black and White, XY era took a break, came back near the back end with Evolutions, then, kind of left and came back again when Tag Team was really introduced with Cosmic Eclipse, because huge Gen 4 fan, and they really brought the power with that. But, of course, it's different for each person on what they like. But the point, before I get off on it, the point is just the Pokemon Company is at a point right now where it needs to just do a couple of things. It needs to push out product that are going to have Evolving Skies. It needs to push out product that is not just going to throw in a bunch of old fusions because they can't sell it unless they're throwing in these Brilliance and Evolving combos. And it needs to also come out with another set this year that's going to just blow the top off. It can't be one of these other sets like a Darkness Ablaze, like a Champion's Path, where they just throw in a Charizard and the rest of the set sucks. You have to have more variety with that. They don't have variety. This is not what we're looking for. Fusion Strike, Mew, and Gengar, which, you know, that's great and all. You know, it's nice to have those too. And the Celebi's pretty cool too. And obviously you've got the Espeon, so at least there's more value to that. You're thinking, okay, I've got at least 4 or 5 hits. That's cool. But when you think of a set like Evolving Skies, you think of like 15, 20 hits you can get. And I know people at this point are like, oh, well, sets don't need to be that big. I get that. I can totally understand the sentiment behind that. But also at the same exact time, for what the pull rates are for these cards, which are, you know, on the difficult side, wouldn't it suck so much to have a concentrated amount of smaller cards, and if you don't hit that one card, you know that you're going to have just whiffed on that 1 in 72 hit rate, versus with Evolving Skies, say you don't pull the Espeon, the Umbreon, let's say you pull the Rayquaza, or let's say you pull the Leafeon, or let's say you pull the Glaceon. There is so many opportunities for hits, versus you pull a Sandaconda alt art, you pull a, you know, what's another good example from, like, I don't know, what's the one I'm trying to think of, Greedent. I mean, are you going to be happy that that's one of the cards that you pulled? Of course not. And so the fact of the matter is, going into Lost Origins, when you've got Galarian Berserker, you've got Rotom, you've got Aerodactyl, and then you've got Giratina. I do think the art is, like, it's not bad. I understand what they're doing with Rotom. But if I'm being completely honest, unless I'm pulling that Aerodactyl or that Giratina, it's like whatever, you know? And as far as it goes outside of that, what's more for there to really want? And we'll see more with the character rares. Character rares are going to add value, of course, to it. But it really just, it's a bummer. I really wish they were going to be doing more with the set in terms of alternate arts. But I don't know, guys. Maybe it's a little bit too much of a rant video today. But honestly, I just am kind of here to give my 2 cents and my opinion on what's going on in the market right now, guys. Because you look at the product and what the future of product is right now. Pokemon Company is just putting out crap. And so it's really hurting the market. And I talked about this too on the live stream yesterday with Nostalgianomics. Shout out to him for coming out on the stream. You can check it out. But distributors right now are flash selling product. The product that, you know, we usually would be forced to take because the demand was so high, we had to take the product because it would sell, or else we'd lose our allocations, or we'd sit on it. And when you're in peak demand season, like, you know, the 2020 bubble, 2021, you have to take it, because otherwise you're going to miss out on more future allocations. Well, nowadays, with everything slowing down and the demand slowing down, everyone's not taking the product. So they're like, oh, you're going to take away my product? That's fine. I'm not going to be able to sell it anyway. And so since that's happening all at once for a lot of, you know, online retailers and LGSs, for some of my distributors, they're having to flash sell product. They're doing buy one, get one free wholesale level prices, aka 50% off wholesale. And they're doing, you know, bonus bucks systems where they're literally just giving away product. And it's because they're at a point right now where they're just desperate to sell product. I mean, you're talking 25, 50% to free wholesale price product. That's incredible to me, guys, that this is a point right now where the Pokemon company is putting out all this product. You've got standard consumers that don't want to purchase it. You've got retailers that can't sell it, so they don't buy it from distributors, and then distributors have to flash sell it, and then they end up getting left with the bag. And the Pokemon company, it's going to have to adjust, because I'm expecting there to be a lot of downside still to come in this hobby. Not only because of everything going on with stocks and inflation and, just general markets, but also because the lackluster product that has been so far 2022 outside of, Brilliant Star. And maybe it's just me, but I would honestly, in my mind, I think Brilliant Star is an extension of 2021. Because 2021, when you really think about it, guys, it was a pretty good year. It was a pretty good year, all things considered. Now, don't get me wrong, it obviously had its mid-tier sets. It had Chilling Reign, it had Battle Styles, it had Fusion. But when you really think about it, it had Evolving into Celebrations. And then, of course, to follow that up after Fusion, you had Brilliant Star coming into the year, and then you started off the year with Shining Fates. So that's not a bad year. That is not a bad year at all. But as far as it's looking right now, Pokemon Go as your specialty set, really? It's just causing a lot of pain right now for everyone that is a seller in the market, and prices are just going to tank. And sure, you'll have opportunities to pick up cheap product and it'll be good as a consumer. But also, looking at the bigger picture, you really still want at least a little bit of health in the market long term, considering the fact that you should still care as a consumer that they're putting out good product for you to want to buy, which is what they're not doing as it stands right now. But as far as it goes, though, that's kind of my rant for today's video. Pokemon Company basically kind of wrapping it up. They've been putting out garbage product. They need to find ways to involve Evolving Skies and Brilliant Star in more of their product. And on top of that as well, they need to at least finish with one good booster box set to send off the Sword and Shield era, because everything at this point is just crashing in price in regards to just this kind of throwaway product, and distributors are having to flash sell stuff, and even then retailers are still unable to sell it for that reason. So get ready, guys. There's going to be a lot of buying opportunities, and when that, of course, in Phase 2.0 set does come out sometime early next year, I'm going to see it as probably a really good buying opportunity, because if we continue to see the demand filter out of this market, I would not be surprised if you really saw a lot of these products that are going to be extremely undervalued that shouldn't be. But once again, as always, if you want to enter into our weekly giveaways, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We post content each and every week for you to comment and like on. 3 winners as well, and 3 opportunities to enter, because you can comment and like on all 3 videos. But as far as it goes, that is all for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Until then, I will see you guys on Friday. Peace.